Hello, this is Max. Today's story is about how a husband and wife swapped bodies due to an unsuccessful experiment. You can subscribe to the channel after watching. It helps us a lot in realizing the content. During a counseling session, the husband, Andrea, enthusiastically describes an optical illusion picture as an old woman or witch, while the wife, Sofia, remains silent. The counselor interprets this as a reflection of their tendency to only see flaws in each other. They also find it difficult to discuss their close relationships, leading to embarrassment. After the session, the counselor advises them to internalize their problems by empathizing with each other. Andrea and Sofia rush out of the building, each heading to their opposite destinations. At the hospital, Dr. Henry Rossini carries out his routine duties, while his best friend and fellow researcher, Dr. Michelle, greets him. They discuss their research and are approached by interns, Maria and Luca. Meanwhile, Sofia begins her role as a co-host in a broadcasting studio for a talk show about strong and independent women. She later picks up her children, Tommaso and Margherita. Andrea practices presenting their research to Michelle, which involves a device called Charlie that can decode and interpret the thoughts of patients who have lost their ability to speak. They discuss using a board member to test the device but decide it needs to be more accurate. Andrea proposes connecting to human brains and using Charlie to swap their thoughts. They have dinner plans with Georgia, whom Andrea met at a tango class. During dinner, Sofia remains composed while the two men try to impress Georgia. However, Michaela makes inappropriate comments about women's behavior in the bedroom. When asked about her romantic interest, Georgia surprises everyone by stating she's not romantically attracted to Michelle. Michael insults Sofia, and when Andrea agrees with his best friend, Sofia asks him to intervene, but he leaves without acknowledging her. Back home, they exchange pleasantries with their babysitter, Angelica, who smiles warmly at Andrea. Sofia takes a call from her boss, Christian, regarding an upcoming premiere. Andrea finishes adjustments to Charlie just in time for Sofia to arrive in the kitchen. He insists that she test the device with him. Although hesitant, she agrees. The test initially fails, but when Sofia finally sees Andrea's appraisal of their home without informing her, she becomes agitated. Amidst their argument, Sofia accidentally knocks over a glass of water onto Charlie, causing it to explode and the house to lose electricity. When the lights come back on, they both stand in shock, realizing they have switched bodies. Sofia, now in Andrea's body, is horrified and curses when she sees herself in the mirror, touching her new face and body parts. Meanwhile, Andrea, armed with kitchen tools for protection, searches for Sofia and asks where her husband is. Andrea, now in Sofia's body, follows and finds him in the bathroom, where he's vomiting due to the shock of their body switch. They are interrupted when Tommaso arrives due to the noise, but Sofia sends him back to bed. Back in the bathroom, Andrea confirms his hypothesis that they have switched bodies. He explains that Charlie may have short-circuited but can't help but laugh at the situation as he realizes the device's capabilities. Sofia, now in Andrea's body, cries loudly, blaming her husband for her current state. Andrea works overnight to fix Charlie, but the device still won't function, and they soon need to go to work. Andrea suggests they can skip work, but Sofia's talk show is premiering today, so she forces her husband to work in her place. Eventually, Angelica arrives to take care of the children. Sofia, now in Andrea's body, greets the nanny affectionately. Seconds later, Andrea, in Sofia's body, enters the room while struggling to put on stockings. After a troublesome preparation, the couple arrives at the broadcast station, with Andrea wobbly walking in heels. Sofia guides him on what to do, but he gets overwhelmed upon seeing the studio set. Sofia takes Andrea to the makeup station to lessen their nervousness and directs Yvonne, the makeup artist, on the look she wants. However, Andrea receives a call from Michaela, who urgently needs him to bring Charlie back to the hospital. While the couple argues about what to do, Yvonne can't put makeup on Sofia, who is now in Andrea's body. Andrea eventually convinces Sofia to return Charlie. When Andrea leaves, Yvonne takes advantage of the situation to do whatever he likes to the show host's appearance. Meanwhile, Sofia hurries to the hospital and hands Charlie over to Michelle, but the interns inform her that Andrea is being called by Dr. Lofoco, a board member, to the operating room. Sofia claims a hand injury, but Michaela insists she enter the operating room. Shortly after entering the room, Sofia glances at the operating table and faints. When she wakes up, she explains her situation to the nurses but is cut off when she receives a call from Angelica. She answers the phone sweetly, but Angelica interprets it as special attention from Andrea, leading Sofia to question their relationship. Afterward, the interns intercept their mentor as she leaves the hospital, and Sofia realizes it's time for the live broadcast. She turns on the TV in the nurse's station. Meanwhile, Andrea wobbles onto the stage due to the high heels and sits with open legs, accidentally flashing Sofia's undergarments in front of the camera. Christian quickly instructs the camera to zoom in to avoid broadcasting the embarrassing scene, but everyone in the studio is bewildered by the behavior. The interview starts, but the teleprompter suddenly turns off, forcing Andrea to speak his mind, which is contrary to the main point of the topic about women. The main host cuts off the airing, berating Sofia, while Christian comforts her. When the cameraman assists Andrea in removing the mic, they laugh at his appearance, especially as the tight skirt is now pushed up, showing the stockings lower than usual. Andrea pinches one of them and wobbles out of the studio. That evening, Andrea goes home to take care of their children, but Sofia storms in and nags at him for making a fool of her on live TV. The following day, Andrea has to go to the live broadcast again. Before the show starts, Christian congratulates him as the ratings have increased by 15%. Andrea hosts the show, expressing his unfiltered experiences as a mom in the postpartum stage. Meanwhile, Sofia watches the program with a sense of shame over her live TV mishap. Afterward, she goes to work as Andrea, doing her best not to lose patience. However, she's assigned an emergency case and finds herself uncertain of what to do. In this challenging situation, she calls the interns for assistance. Going along with Maria's diagnosis procedure, Sofia empowers her to be assertive. Soon after, Dr. Brancati arrives to inquire about the progress of their research. Seeing the doctor's name tag, Sofia accepts his invitation for a drink. A few hours later, Michaela witnesses Sofia, now in Andrea's body, handing over all the research files to Brancati. Afterward, she heads home but is interrupted by Angelica, who confesses her feelings, believing she understood Andrea's romantic signals. Sofia stops her from going further but is kissed by the babysitter, prompting her to push Angelica away. Sofia arrives home and accuses her husband of infidelity, which Andrea denies. This agitates Sofia even more, particularly considering what the nanny mentioned about Andrea's actions over the past few days. However, she soon realizes it's not her husband but herself who gave Angelica the wrong signals. Andrea teases her that she still cares for him, and he genuinely apologizes for everything he's done. A phone call from Tommaso's principal interrupts their conversation, asking them to come to school. There, the principal reads Tommaso's essay, narrating how his mom uses bad words and punches men in the park while his dad cries in front of the mirror. Andrea and Sofia stifle a laugh, which disappoints the principal. Finally, she reads how Tommaso believes the magic wand made his parents switch bodies, breaking the heavy atmosphere. That afternoon, the couple picks up Tommaso and goes to the park to spend quality time together as a family. However, the fun comes to an abrupt end when Sofia accidentally hits Tommaso's head with the ball. Later, when the kids are asleep, the couple gets a chance to reminisce, and Sofia confesses that she misses how their relationship used to be. Due to recent events, the wife takes the initiative to be intimate, but Andrea backs away, feeling uncomfortable with their current physical condition. Sofia falls into silence, disappointed, but after a few moments, Andrea approaches her, and the pair spend the night together, reconnecting on a deeper level. The following morning, while Andrea is still asleep, he experiences flashes of Sofia's memories when she consulted a divorce lawyer, who promised to help her get all of Andrea's money. Disturbed by these revelations, Andrea confronts Sofia, who defends herself by pointing out that Andrea didn't inform her about the house appraisal. He explains that he invested all his money to secure his job, not wanting his wife to bear all the financial burden. Sofia genuinely apologizes, but Andrea, enraged, leaves the house, threatening to divorce her and take all the money. Andrea seeks refuge at Michaela's house and confides in her about the situation, but Michaela refuses to believe him. The next day, Sofia prepares to go to the hospital, while Andrea, frustrated by Sofia's appearance, cuts his hair short and dresses in his preferred clothes to go to the broadcast station. At the station, Christian, the director, confronts Andrea about his behavior and appearance. When Andrea doesn't respond, Christian enumerates all the heartache Sofia has endured because of her husband. During this, Andrea sees fragments of Sofia's memories and realizes something important. Meanwhile, Sofia arrives at the hospital and is greeted by Maria, who praises her. However, Sofia learns that Dr. Lofoco is now leading the research without them, and she rushes to his office to claim Andrea's research. But she is embarrassed and sent away when she can't explain the situation regarding Charlie. Back at Michaela's home, Andrea encounters Sofia's monthly period and instructs Michaela to buy the necessary items. When Sofia arrives, Andrea asks if she has memories of him, and she affirms it. They conclude that they never swapped bodies. Instead, their memories were switched. To fix this, they plan to reactivate their old memories using Charlie. However, Sofia confesses that she gave their research to Brancati, angering Andrea. Their argument is interrupted by Michelle's arrival with a tampon. Sofia helps Andrea with it, leading to a calm conversation. Andrea decides not to let Brancati claim Charlie, and they plan to expose him and retrieve their research. Sofia, in Andrea's body, instructs Michaela to cooperate despite her protests. Andrea explains the technicalities of Charlie, and they work overnight to perfect the presentation. Before Andrea leaves for the station, Sofia praises his research, and he is touched by her words, explaining his inspiration. At the hospital, during Brancati's presentation, Sofia starts her speech, and Lofoco realizes the truth about the research. She successfully presents, and they leave reassured. At the broadcast station, Andrea confronts a disrespectful guest and delivers a powerful message about self-acceptance and women's value beyond appearances. The guest is embarrassed and leaves the studio. Meanwhile, as they watch at the nurse's station, Sofia smiles in satisfaction at how her husband handles the situation. Michaela, staring at Andrea, finally understands that it's Sofia, and she praises her for the excellent presentation at the studio. Andrea, back at the broadcast station, gets surprised by the loud applause of everyone. Afterward, he rushes to the hospital to pick up Sofia, who's patiently waiting for her husband. As they approach each other, they share a passionate kiss. The couple then proceeds to the lab to use Charlie and return to their original selves. However, before Andrea can push the button, Sofia stops him and asks if they can remember all the events. Andrea, uncertain, asks the wife which memory she would preserve if given the chance. Sofia admits it's how their children look at him in her body, while Andrea reveals that for him, it's how Sofia looks at him now. They hold each other's hands, and Andrea clicks the button to start up Charlie, and their memories flash in their minds. Months later, at the couple's residence, Sofia sweetly kisses Andrea's cheek as they both prepare breakfast. Suddenly, Tommaso enters the kitchen and calls his mom. The couple freezes, looks at each other, and then turns their gaze toward Tommaso, simultaneously calling him sweetie. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen, and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.